Today we're going to try Boomerang's Beef Classic Pot Pie Mighty Pie, I think that they call it, which is interesting. Mighty size, excuse me. Now Boomerang, I did their pies a little while ago. They had like smaller pies that they say are like Australian pies, little cup pies. And they were okay. They weren't my favorite, but they were nice in the fact that they had, a good list of ingredients that wasn't too crazy. And they were relatively, not good for you, but that they weren't like super processed. So I saw that they had like giant pot pies now, and I had to get it because the frozen pot pie game is very interesting to me. Banquet is the cheapest pot pies, but honestly I really enjoy them. There's something of a nostalgic flavor for me. I wish that they came in bigger sizes because I actually really like them. Then of course you have the Marie Callender's, which I think is the default pot pie most people get, but I feel like they've dropped in quality recently. Maybe it's just me. And then there is another brand, I just can't remember it. What is it? Swanson. And then you have those ones, and they're just kind of bad. So the pot pie game has been kind of lacking recently since Marie Callender's has kind of fallen out of the game, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Marie Callender's has kind of just fallen off. So hopefully Boomerang can fill the void, and it looks really good, and I know that their stuff is generally quality. So that all that matters is that it's quality, but the problem is, does that translate to taste? Because if you look at the ingredients, you have onions, beef, carrots, peas, corn, modified food starch, beef flavor, canola oil, sea salt, garlic powder, thyme, oregano, black pepper. That's for the filling. And then for the pastry, it's wheat flour, soy shortening, water, yeast, sugar, sea salt, butter type flavor, and they have a glaze of water and sugar. So there's nothing crazy in here. It's real ingredients for the most part, and it looks good, and it's a decent size at 15 ounces. It was also pretty pricey. It was about $5. So $5 for one pot pie might be a little much, but Marie Callender's are getting up there. They're like $3 something now, which is crazy. I used to buy them for like under $2 all the time. Even Banquets are over $1, which I've never seen for pot pies, but that's just the way the world is now. So we're gonna pop it in the oven because, again, that's recommended. So we don't want to put a pot pie in the microwave. It's just not the way to do it. And it says best is in the oven, so we're gonna follow that, even though I generally microwave most things. 400 degrees. Do not remove Boomerang pie from paper tray. Cover edges of crust with aluminum foil. Set on baking sheet. Bake for 65 to 70 minutes and let cool for 5 minutes. So pretty much the same routine as a Marie Callender's pie. You just pop it in the oven with foil on the edges so it doesn't burn the edges of the crust, and then that's it. You let it cook for an hour. So here we go. We're gonna try it. I'm actually genuinely excited about this one, even though I didn't really like the Boomerang pies that much in the first place. So let me open it real fast and show you what it looks like, and then I'll put it in the oven and come back in an hour, or approximately, I don't know, 10 seconds for you. Oh, that looks legit. That looks legit, and it's not like. What's interesting is that it's not stuck to the thing. It's actually kind of loose, so you can see the whole pie, and it looks all right. It looks legit. So let's pop it in the oven. Okay, here's our Boomerang pie out of the oven. I've let it sit for about 10 minutes, so hopefully it's not too hot to eat, but this looks frankly amazing. This is a perfectly cooked pie, if I don't say so myself, I'm very good at timing the oven, but yeah, it looks awesome. A little bit spilled out over here onto some foil, but that's okay. I think that's a sign of a good pot pie, is when it kind of bubbles out of the side. That's how you know you got it right. So I'm gonna poke in here and see what we get. Open up the lid a little bit. Let me show you guys what's underneath our pot pie. And it's steaming hot. Wow, that looks really good, but it might be still a little too hot to eat, but I'm gonna try. You got peas, carrots, onions, corn, and beef. And it's like shreds of beef. It's like little shredded beef. That's fancy. All right, I feel good about this. Now I'm starting to feel pretty good about this pie. It smells good, looks good. It's got a lot of gravy. I'm gonna have to blow on this one, but I really want to eat this, even though it's probably too hot. Here we go. Well, I like this pie, but I don't love it, and I don't think I put it over. Honestly, I'd probably take a Banquet pie over it, but that's partially nostalgia. The problem with this pie is not the ingredients, it's not the instructions, it's not the cooking of it, it's not the composition of it. What it really comes down to, which is part of the problem I have with their other pies, is that they're just not seasoned well. It's crazy, because I think composition-wise, this is the best frozen pot pie I've ever seen. It cooks well, it's great, the crust is well made, The inside is real ingredients. The beef is probably the best beef I've ever seen in a pot pie. Everything is real, and it feels, you know, relatively like almost like a homemade pot pie in a way. But it's like they forgot to hit it with salt and pepper for some reason, or like some kind of, you know, seasoning blend or something, just to give it some flavor. It's very plain. It's almost like somebody made this pot pie in like the 1700s, and they didn't have seasoning salt or anything else, and they just kind of, you know, put it together, and this is what you get. It's weird how it turns out that way. I mean, it is in the ingredients that they use sea salt and garlic powder, thyme, and oregano, but I don't taste any of that. It just feels very, very, very plain, which is odd, and it's unfortunate because I think this has the potential to be the best pot pie on the market easily, because it's quality. It's very, very, very quality. Like I said, everything about it screams quality, screams real. It's like I said, it's almost like a homemade pot pie. You can maybe fool somebody with this if you didn't have it in the little carton, but it just is lacking flavor. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like the gravy, I guess you'd call it gravy, it doesn't really have any taste to it. The beef is good. It tastes like beef. You know, the corn tastes like corn, carrots taste like carrots, but the binding, the gravy holding it all together just doesn't have anything. And while the crust is great in terms of texture, and it's great in terms of the way it's cooked, and it's great in the shape and everything, it's really lacking a flavor. What it has is kind of like a weird buttery flavor that's fake buttery, which is the only thing about this pie that's kind of off-putting, which it says in here they have butter type flavor, which is vegetable oil with benzyl alcohol. It's weird. They should have just used real butter, because you can tell it's kind of like fake butter, but it's not that bad. It's just a weird kind of fake butter taste. That's the only thing that's kind of throwing me off. But if they had just made it flavorful, if they had just, I don't know, I'm not a cook, but I feel like they're lacking in terms of taste, and it's just odd because it's so quality. It's so nice, and it's constructed. It just looks good. It tastes like nothing. It just tastes like plain. So it's the same problem I had with their other Boomerang pies. I guess maybe that's just kind of their thing, is that they want it to be like kind of natural and stuff like that, but it's just missing. It just looks so good, but it doesn't taste that good. It just tastes like, yeah, like I said, I think the perfect analogy is like, you know, the Quakers made this or something, or like a Pilgrim made this pie in like the 1700s with, you know, their farm fresh vegetables and everything, but they don't have any seasonings because they can't afford it, so this is what they got. It's very weird. I still think it might be worth, and it says real food made. I think that's kind of, you know, that's kind of the thing they're going for, is that it's real, which is true. It's just lacking the flavor. I need you to hit it with something. I don't know what. I'm not a chef. Get your guy who like does the chef who makes this stuff up in the frozen food factory or whatever. I don't know how it works. Your flavor creator, to put some flavor in your pies. That's all you need to do, because you're there. You're 90% of the way there. You just need to add some flavor. Please, Boomerang, please add some flavor to your pies. So I'm gonna have to give this a 3 out of 5. I think this would be an easy 5 if they could have just hit it with some seasoning. That's it. That's all they really needed. I still think it might be worth trying out for, you know, a lot of people might kind of like a plainer food. If you're, it seems weird to say, but if you're kind of somebody who likes a plainer food, then maybe you'd like it. And I think it's worth trying in the pot pie if you're somebody who eats a lot of frozen pot pies like me, which is probably really bad for you. But if you are, it's definitely worth a shot to try, but I really don't think it compares. And when I prefer even a banquet, it's kind of a problem. And you know, banquets are generally terrible, but there's something about the nostalgic aspect of it that I really enjoy, and it does have flavor. You can't hit a banquet for lack of flavor. You can hit it for lack of quality in terms of every ingredient. You could say that their beef and chicken is nasty. You could say a lot of things about a banquet pie, but it definitely has a taste to it, while this, it just kind of doesn't, which is very weird. So I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 5 for the Boomerang Beef Classic Pot Pie. You're so close. I hope somebody over there watches this. Please just add some kind of seasonings to it, please. That's all you need to do, and this would be an easy recommendation. So that's that, and I will see you next time.